and welcome to the Sports Doyen. I'm Kushag, and today I'm joined with Anurag. Hello, Anurag. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, bro. What a game of cricket, really.
Yeah,
God, yeah.
let's just inform our viewers. I'm really sorry for not starting with that. The co-start
Yeah,
there, but yeah, I guess I had a bit of a CSK start there. So
yeah, absolutely.
let's yeah let's get to the game. We are here to review the 14th match in the IPL, which was SRH versus CSK. We saw SRH batting first and scoring a formidable total of 164, and they had good contributions by Garg and the young lad Abhishek. Uh, and when they came back to bowl, we saw the same problems that we've seen with CSK right throughout this tournament. We even saw these problems quite a bit in the last two seasons as well, but perhaps the Chennai pitch and everything else, the Indian grounds sort of masked it, and
Truly.
also probably their squad was slightly younger, in the last 2 years, and it seems to the age seems to have caught up on that squad. So, the batting lineup started slow and they couldn't. And in the end, it was a similar story. Too much left for the batsman at the end, and another match here wherein a batsman from CSK finishes a match with a six, yet it's not the winning marks. I'm
Truly.
sure this must now be a record in the IPL. Number of last ball sixes without a
Truly.
victory. Yeah, because I think I've seen three matches end in sixes with the CSK
I know.
this year, this IPL, and they've lost three and won one. So yeah, without much further ado, I'll come to our resident Hyderabadi, as I call him, Anurag. You must be really happy with the SRH performance. I know the CSK guys took it close with you boys, at the
Yeah,
end, but in the end, I think it was always in the bag, despite of
absolutely. Yeah.
Samad's five run, no, zero ball start.
Yeah, I mean, this had to be. I mean, if you look at the way we started with the ball, especially, I think Bhuvneshwar Kumar. This is the world that this is the kind of world class Bhuvneshwar Kumar that the whole of India really adores. He was absolutely bang on perfect with his in swingers and out swingers. I think it. I always enjoy when he bowls well, and I'm sure anyone with great cricketing sense, if they watch him bowl like that, everyone will enjoy that. That he's absolutely brilliant there, and it was good to see him do that. And Ambati Rayudu's dismissal was very weird. I felt. I think the
Yeah.
way he just left his stumps exposed. I think he could have really avoided that. He's a technically much better batsman than that. But
He's
then
a man
again,
of strange things, isn't he?
exactly, indeed. Very, very strange things. You never know how he'll bat or what he'll tweet. So again, that was a bit of again the same old approach of taking it too deep. I think they've again taken it too deep. There was a point when Rashid Khan and Bhuvneshwar Kumar's 5 overs accounted for 9 runs in the first
Yes.
15. Later on, that sort of in the death overs it tends to bloat up again. But yeah, but in the first 15 overs, Rashid Khan and this guy's 5 overs accounted for 9 runs. You cannot expect to chase eight an over by giving away 5 overs so cheaply. So I think that got to CSK. I think obviously when with MS Dhoni, you obviously expect certain things to happen, some wonders to happen, but. I'm glad Abdul Samad maintained his composure, and yeah, some people were criticizing him for bowling that wide, but I think that was a very good, very smart delivery. Honestly, Bairstow
Yeah.
actually made a mess of it.
You know, had it been Bairstow batting and Dhoni keeping, that would have been out.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think Bairstow was very. I think he was a bit sloppy today overall with his keeping. He missed out a couple of chances. In fact, I mean, not just in terms of chances, just in terms of picking the ball up. There were a couple of times with the spinners when Samad was bowling, he was not able to pick the ball up. It was bouncing off his gloves. I don't know. He had a very bad day with the keeping gloves. But yeah, overall, I think again the that good work which we did with the ball in the first 15 hours, it really helped us get over the line.
Yeah, and I think that has been the strength for Sunrisers Hyderabad
And
all
I'm sorry,
throughout.
I did not mention Priyam Gargan. Wow, I think
Yeah,
again, this is what
Abhishek
this is
Sharma.
where you really enjoy the IPL when youngsters come and take the responsibility and take it up. I think that 1-6 which he hit, the cross-batted heave of Sam Curran. What a beautiful shot, man. Seriously, that was
Yeah.
beautiful.
I thought the way Sam Curran started, I thought he probably had
Yeah,
Priyanka's innings in his head.
yeah, true.
And he's like, I'll go smash everything, but unfortunately,
That was the biggest six I've seen anyone hit off the first ball of his innings. I can't remember anyone hitting such a big six. My God, I didn't see how long that went, but that was
It
huge,
was, it was
very
86
huge.
meters. I was quite intrigued. I thought this might have gone
Yeah,
like 90, 100 meters.
yeah,
It was
exactly.
86 meters because the ground cascades like this, so it
Yeah, I
just went
think
and
yeah,
hit the stands flat like this. So
yeah,
had the stands
perhaps.
been further away, it would have should surely gone for over 100 meters.
Perhaps,
So
yeah.
it was a fantastic hit by Sam Curran. And,
Yeah,
but again, once again, we've spoken a lot about Sam Curran. We've spoken about the energy that he's provided. You and me have spoken about it for the last
indeed.
CSK review that we did.
Yep.
And even though he's a spark, he's definitely genuinely a spark. Uh, coming back to CSK a little here, because I'd like to talk about them. They're one of the most fancied teams, one of the definitely, probably the most supported IPL team, franchise. Definitely they have the most supported and beloved captain, of course. So this now officially is the worst start in a season for the Chennai Super Kings.
Yep.
They're rock bottom of the table. Played 4 matches, lost 3, won 1, and also to top it, they have the second worst net run rate in the IPL right now as well.
Indeed.
The only team who doing worse in terms of net run rate, sorry, with them is RCB. But then again, they have 2 victories, so sort of have negated that aspect there. What do you think? What do you think is the issue with CSK? Do you think with so many problems, even with Bhuvi having to concede that his last over, not being able to bowl that over, having to withdraw himself and everything else, and also at a point I felt like Chennai sort of let Hyderabad make 160. I felt it was a pitch wherein Chennai should have tried to restrict this Hyderabad team to 140, 145, given the start that they had, especially.
Yeah, given the start we've had, I think I would have actually taken 140 with both my arms open.
I think 140 should have been the upper limit. I think I'm trying to the CSK bowlers and fielders.
Ideally, they should have finished Sunrisers by 125, 130. I think that's what they should have been aiming at. But I think again, this is there was an article that I was writing about death overs batting, especially with regards to playing in UA and this current circumstances and conditions, because these are conditions where blind slogging will not help you. It might help you. It might help. Just slogging with the line, it won't help you like what typically Andre Russell does, typically Glenn Maxwell does. This won't help you in UA. You have to find those gaps. You have to be very smart with your batting, and that's why SRH was saved in the last 2 games. Kane Williamson did that in the last game. Priyam Garg did it this game. All very beautiful shots. He just tried to. There was not one shot where he tried to power it or anything. He was just trying to time the ball. He was just trying to put it in the gap. I think that's why they got the runs. And again, they got it absolutely horribly wrong.
Yes, and something that has to worry a lot of Chennai fans, and not just Chennai fans. I'd say this is an issue for all Dhoni fans as well, because we saw the great man wilting, and it was clear that the weather was getting to him, and whatever said and done, he did play his part. He was slow though. Like at one point he had like 27 runs of 29 balls, and that in today's age is not even acceptable in ODIs. So forget T20s. So I think it will be a very difficult season for Chennai, and unless there is some master stroke that none of us have seen until now, unless there is something that Dhoni is building up to, because we are romantic Indian fans. You always want Thala to have something up his sleeve. We want Thala is larger than life for us. So we always want him to be better than what he is. So let's hope that there is some miracle there. Though, in my opinion, I do not see Chennai even cracking top 6. Forget top 4. I think they'll be amongst the top, bottom 2 teams with the wooden spoon at the end. How do you see SRH doing? Just for our viewers, this is the 14th match. I'm sorry, sort of messed up my own audio there. This was the 14th match, and that means we've reached the quarter stage of the IPL, as they say in Hindi. A Pawa IPL is done, and and now we've got to go for the other 3 quarters. So in the first quarter, as a financial expert, I'd ask, I would want you to make a chart wherein you give me 2 high performers, 2 medium performers, 2 could do better, 2 at the lowest rung. So we could you could do 1, I could do 1 in each of the boxes, and we could allocate all 4 teams. So since we've already discussed with CSK, and now that our post your views with the SRH, we would place these 2 in the respective boxes. Good.
So I think that's a very interesting question. So the top 2, the sure shot top two for me. I think yeah, Mumbai Indians have lost a couple of games, but the way they've played is something that you have to consider, and they are sure they have to finish in the top two or top four. So I think I would go with Mumbai Indians and Delhi Capitals in that regard. And the other, the third and fourth. I mean, potentially,
Just for your reference, I'll just read out the table for you and for our viewers as well.
yeah,
So as Anurag told us, in the first quadrant, in the first top two, you would put Mumbai and Delhi, and
yeah,
that is how the table reads in front of me as I read it right now.
yeah,
You have KKR on third, SRH fourth, RR
Rajasthan,
fifth, RCB
yeah,
sixth, Kings 11 seventh, and CSK eighth.
yeah,
Now you could carry on, and
yep.
I would ask you to place SRH and CSK.
SRH and CSK. I think CSK I would place in the in the last quadrant. Where I really don't see them getting anywhere beyond. I think, as you've rightly put, I think by the looks of it, it does feel like they'll finish seventh or eighth because this side has really it lost its life in it. So yeah, I think that's where I would put it. And SRH, I would put it in the second quadrant where I just about think I think they will be able to nick it because the batting quality they have and the two bowlers they have, they're absolute match winners. I hope Bhuvneshwar Kumar recoups his to his best, and I think that is one area where SRH have been sort of getting over the line for a long period of time now, and that's what happened in
Yeah.
the 2016 season when we won as well. So I think that batting talent is world class. So I'm sort of banking on that again. So yeah, I think that's where I'd put SRH.
Okay, understood.
Yeah.
In my opinion, we'll get through the other teams as well. You
Mm.
mentioned MI and Delhi Capitals. I'll quickly like a word on them as well. Them perform very well, and we also seen them flattered to deceive. I was personally, I'll start with Delhi first, and I was very disappointed with their last match. I was very disappointed with the way they ended up losing that chase and ended up completely throwing it away after the bowlers had
True.
done a very, very respectable job, a very good job. I feel Delhi have the best bowling lineup in the tournament, without doubt, beyond doubt.
Yeah.
Best batting, so best fast bowling lineup, and with someone like Ashwin waiting in the wings, they definitely have the best spinning department as well.
Yeah.
It's all about if the right pieces click at the right time, and things like their batting not being able to chase down a 150 160 target, that is something they just cannot afford. So just a quick word on Delhi on your side. I still firmly believe, we did a preview for CSK for this IPL, and me and Pratmesh, I remember we put Delhi as the strongest team. I think you were also sort of
Yeah.
in
Very much
agreement.
agreement. Yeah.
Delhi and Mumbai were sort of level for
Yeah.
you as well. And we've seen that is how the tournament find out. So how do you think, do you think this inexperience or this sort of, gullible behavior in their batting would actually end up biting them?
Yeah, I think there is another example I would just throw in here. That is of Kings 11 Punjab. Just in terms of squad balance, you look at Delhi Capitals, you look at Kings 11 Punjab. This is the best squad that they've managed to put together. And Kings again, Delhi Capitals have made far better choices. I mean, yes, they did some. There was a little bit of inexperience of coming into picture in the last game. I think I failed to wonder. I think it was the brilliance of Kane Williamson towards the end. I think that really cost them. So yeah, I think they're not that bad. I think they still will manage to put a lot of teams to sword. I think this is a really good team, and I cannot see this team not doing well. So I think yeah, there have been some jitters. I think they'll get past it. And talking about the other team that I just mentioned, Kings 11 Punjab, great squad, bad decisions one after the other, and that's what is costing them. And I don't know what better they can do from here, but I think as of now, I would put them in the third or
Top
fourth
two.
in
Also third,
in the second
second,
category.
second. Oh,
In the second category. Yep.
all right. That's understandable.
Yep.
We move on. We move on quickly to RCB and Rajasthan Royals. RCB, interestingly, have a minus 1.4 net run rate, which is quite astounding considering the 1-2 matches they lost, lost just the one. And I think you muted yourself there, Anurag.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's quite stunning there how they managed to have such a bad net run rate. But we all know because of that loss against Kings 11, they were utterly thrashed there. So it's not just that. RCB have shown that they probably have that fighting spirit this time. AB de Villiers has looked in stunning form. Virat Kohli must be a definite concern for the team. Team management. He's just looked out of touch. But the question again remains: how long can you keep a good man down?
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of time before his form turns, and it will turn for the better. I'm happy. I hope this IPL goes horribly for him, so that he saves up runs for Australia. But how do you think RCB and RR, for that matter, who are again been a little hit and miss for me as well?
Yeah.
I feel more than RCB, I feel RR have the potential to do well in this tournament. They have a
Absolutely. Yeah.
few aces down there up their sleeve. Few real blockbuster players like Jafra Archer. Even for that matter, Tivatia is on his day is incredible with the bat, with the ball,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and we've got Sanju Samson who can change the match on his own. So, how do you think these two franchises will compare? In this tournament going ahead, and where would we place them in the quadrant? For me, RCB go in the third quadrant. That they need to improve if they could, and for me, RR is the team that joins them there.
Oof. Yeah, see, again, I absolutely want RCB to go all the way and they do well. But as of now, I mean, if I look at, I have the points table right in front of me. I'm looking at the other teams as well, and I wonder who would be the other team that would go in the fourth quadrant. And I cannot think of anyone but RCB right now. I'll tell you why. Because there is one way of looking at it that they have provided some good competitive spirit and they did manage to win those close games, which is good. Obviously, you have to take confidence out of that. But it's also important to realize they need not have the game against Mumbai. What was that? 19-5 overs?
Yes.
My goodness, you cannot let that slip away. And especially, I think it was just poor. Again, um, I don't know if I should be calling it poor captaincy. It was attacking. He attacked it. I think it's fine. The bowlers especially didn't get their lengths right. I think time and
Yeah.
again they did the same. They were not very different. With their variations, they were not really good in that very specific phase of the game. Where Kyron Pollard again, it's tough to bowl against that man when he's in full flow, obviously. But again, there are too many loopholes with their bowling. They're prone to conceding those runs, and Navdeep Sen is the only bowler who really is right now promising as of now. And
And
Yuzvendra Chahal, yeah,
Chahal,
Chahal, yes, exactly, yeah,
Chahal can be expensive, but always
can be,
gets the
yeah,
wickets.
can be expensive. He's like what the sort of role Adil Rashid plays for England. He can be
Yeah,
expensive, but he'll pick
yeah.
those wickets. Yeah, he's doing that right now. So again, see, from the way I see it, there's a great quote from Wakar Yunus once. He said, "Great batsman when you a couple of games or something, but it's you always need a world class bowling attack to go all the way in a tournament." So
They don't.
just sticking by that, I think slightly sticking by that, I think RCB don't have that bowling attack, and I think Rajasthan have a better shot at that. And so I would put Rajasthan in the third quadrant and RCB in the
RCB in the
fourth
fourth.
quadrant. And talking about Rajasthan Royals, I think that where I feel they might as well slip, and they're very close to actually for me putting them in the fourth quadrant because both the games they won. It's important to notice that they both those games were in Sharjah, and once the location changed, they absolutely struggled.
Yeah.
The
Agreed,
so
agreed, agreed.
that is a point that needs to be considered, and it's not like it was a horrible performance against Kolkata in every sense of the word.
Yes,
Tom Curran sort
yes.
of was a saving grace towards the end, but again, that could have been a 70-80 run defeat, if
That
not
could have been a
50%.
similar defeat like RCB.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that wasn't a good performance by any stretch of imagination. So I think that is something which will keep haunting Rajasthan. I am not very sure how many games they're going to play in the different locations that there are. I've noticed the Chennai Super Kings are playing 3 games at Sharjah. Sunrisers are playing 3 games at Sharjah. That's what I've noticed as of now. I haven't counted the other ones quite clearly. I didn't get the time to go through it again. But Rajasthan, I think they'll be playing maybe 1 or 2 more games at best.
There,
Uh,
yeah, at
uh,
best, at best.
at best.
I don't think any franchise playing more than 4 games at
Four
Sharjah.
games at the same venue. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that would be unfair advantage. So yeah, I think going by that, I think by an edge, I think very closely they finish in the third quadrant and RCB in the fourth.
Oh, that's a tough one, RCB fans, and
Yeah.
I don't think they like us very much anyway after the previews and everything else. But
Yep.
unfortunately, guys, RCB is a classic team of if you were using a synonym, football. Sorry, football and anomaly here. So you could say It's a team full of strikers without a defender in that sense because
Truly.
it's got superstar names and it's got that England mid 2000 early 2000s vibes.
If
When you
RCB
had
have to do well, I think it has to be all on Navdeep Saini. Navdeep Saini has to have a world class tournament, and if he does it, my word, I think we'll be up for something big.
yeah, I think we would have found someone who's competing with Jasprit
Absolutely, yeah.
the top of the Indian order. So yeah, I mean, let's hope for all Indian fans, especially, and for all Virat fans, Viratians as they call themselves. Let's hope that RCB do well, and we get to see Virat in the latter stages of the tournament. As of now, in the first Paua, as I said, or first quarter, as we talked about, they do not, as they say in Hindi, asar achhe nahi lag rahe. The you know
Yeah,
the
I get it.
the state of the ship isn't so good, Captain.
Yeah,
Uh, and coming back to the last two teams that are left for us to discuss, of course, it's
Kolkata.
Kings 11 and Kolkata. And Kings 11 is another team. I am really disappointed by this team because I was really looking forward for them to do well. And
Absolutely, yeah.
I have felt that they've choked and then choked again and then choked the third time because the three losses that they have had for me are unpardonable losses because these are not the kind of matches that if you win, if you lose, that I don't think these would not have stood them in any good stead. I don't think these matches will help them come the crunch stage in a knockout game or crunch stage at the end of the league phase or something like that. Because first of all, to lose to Delhi in a super over, to take it to a super over, absolutely ridiculous. Like absolutely ridiculous. You just need to tap the ball and scurry for a single. Even the last ball, if you remember, Chris Jordan, the one that if he lets it go, it's a wide.
Yeah.
It's on his legs. It's a little bit of
And
this.
had he even just had a small
He just had
contact
this
on his leg, he
flick,
could have had a single. Yeah.
single leg by.
Truly,
I do not
big
understand
time choke.
that,
That is a big time
and I'm
choke. Yeah.
sorry. You cannot all play it down to luck. I will not lay a finger of blame on Mayank Agarwal. That poor lad has done everything to make his franchise win.
Yeah.
They still refuse to win.
Truly, I think there's another point. There's a very controversial statement that was said by a journalist. I'll not mention his name, but I think it might sound very infuriating for us as Anil Kumble fans. We all love the guy, but I think this is a good point to consider. If you look at Anil Kumble's reign as a coach, 2016 we lost in the semi-finals due to some bad decisions. 2017 when he was the Indian
Poor,
coach, I mean, again 2017 Champions Trophy, again bad decision to bowl first, horrible decision, and
horrible.
again he has a brilliant squad now, and again it is due to some bad decision making that is actually I don't know if Anil Kumble is the man to be blamed here. Again, that would be very cynical on us to just pinpoint him as a,
Yeah,
yeah, I
I
think,
don't think he's the headmaster of the team. I
yeah,
would
exactly.
like to think that he has a decision group sort of a thing.
Yeah, but I think maybe he does have the authority. Maybe that is why Virat Kohli was not very happy working with him. Maybe that could be or could not be. That's a very hypothetical statement, and this is not our opinion, by the way. This is what us senior journalists said, and I think that was worth giving it a thought because it's not something. Maybe if you are a big, too much of a admirer, maybe you would want to shove it away, but it is not worth shoving away. I think that's something to really ponder upon. And again, poor decision making. That's something you cannot ignore. So Kings, this is a solid squad, and again, I think another thing that is really hampering them is the form of Glenn Maxwell. You want that guy to do well because that guy, when he does well, opposition don't stand a chance. He's that kind of a player. He's that sort of a contributor. He'll put those 60, 70 runs in a 20, 30 ball phase, which will literally take the game away. And we haven't seen, he usually does that quite regularly, and he was in good form coming into the tournament. He scored 100 against England. He was
Yeah,
looking on good touch. That game against England, that fabulous final ODI, we all remember how magnificent he was. I think I was really looking forward to it. But I still think I would still put them in the second quadrant where I think they would still finish in the top four. This was the top four that I predicted in the first place, which was
yeah. That's a
uh,
risk. That's a risk I would
that's
take.
a risk. Yes, I think that is still risky, but I think they still have the personnel. I think, and they have the net run rate. They still have the net run rate. I think they that
Yeah,
big win,
I think. Yeah, you're right.
that
You're right.
one big win. I think eventually,
Yeah,
even it could be that could be the only big win that they register, but that could still be very pivotal because uh, last season Sunrisers registered two big wins. That's it, and they
yeah,
qualified with 12 points.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
the team that finished eighth, RCB, had 10 points. They could have,
yeah.
with two more points, I think, even because of the net run rate, I think that is one factor that will definitely come into picture later on. But yeah, I think I would put them in the second quadrant. And talking about Kolkata, I think uh, I don't know what is that missing link in that team. I don't really feel so confident about it. Maybe it's because that the two powerhouses in their batting lineup, Andre Russell and Sunil Narayan. If you take them away, they don't have that firepower. Obviously, they have some classy batsmen. Nitish Rana is classy. Shubman Gill is such a top talent that Noki played against Sunrisers 70 of 60 balls. Strike rate wise, you might not consider it really
He didn't
highly,
need
but
it. He didn't need
he
it.
needed it. I think horses for courses, beautifully batted. That was sensible cricket. I think as a captain, David Warner must have been so frustrated that day because he kept picking singles again and again and again. Such sensible cricket. I loved that. I think that was one of my
He
favorite
played
knocks.
chance. He played chanceless cricket until he got
Chanceless,
out.
yeah, absolutely. And also, there was another record that he created. That was the first time a batsman went 60 balls
Wow,
without edging one
that's
ball,
unbelievable in
without
this game,
edging
this
one ball.
T20,
I
in
know,
this
right?
T20 game. Oh
Uh,
God.
uh, I think it was like he didn't. That was a chanceless innings. Yeah, as you said. So that was indeed beautiful. So I think they have some the missing link. As we can see, Sunil Narayan is very strongly struggling. Everyone has found that weakness. Ball him short. He's not able to swing his hands that easily when the ball is short. So everyone is doing that, and he's given his wicket all the times. So I think that's where they're struggling. Russell, he came in, he hit a couple of sixes, three sixes, I think, in the last game, but he's not looking very comfortable for obvious reasons. This is not his sort of territory. UAE,
Yeah,
long boundaries plus again slow tracks. Maybe in India that could have worked. Not here. In India, even with slow tracks with the size of the boundaries, that could have worked. But it's two factors against him. I think that's going to keep Kolkata struggling in the coming games as well. So that's one of the areas where I feel Kolkata might just finish in the third quadrant.
all right. Okay.
Yep.
I think I would agree with you in terms of the poor decision making by Kings 11.
Yeah.
Wouldn't agree with you in terms of placing them in the second quarter
Yep.
right now because I think they have
The-
familiar
Bit of
issues.
too much optimism. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they have familiar issues, and some you spoke about. I so want to take his name, but spoke about the journalist who mentioned this. But he has a lot of point there. Because the problem is it's not just about poor decision making. In fact, there was a sense of rigidity in Kings 11's thinking. I think
Yeah.
there isn't as much of flexibility, or maybe we're not seeing Rahul as much as the captain, or maybe this is Rahul as a captain because there's so much confusion because we don't know how KL Rahul takes a team as a captain because we didn't see much of it last year and we haven't seen as much of it this year. And for this to be a team, you see Delhi Capitals, right? Shreyas Iyer, completely inexperienced captain, getting info in his head from Ricky Ponting, of course, Ricky Ponting, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
But on the field, does it look like Ricky Ponting's team? No, looks like Shreyas Iyer's team.
Yeah.
It looks like Shreyas Iyer's team. where
On the
Rishabh
field,
Pant-
it has to be. Yeah.
yeah, Rishabh Pant is barking orders, right? So it has to be KL Rahul's team. And it
Yeah,
doesn't
truly.
look like KL Rahul's team. KL Rahul is probably in the form of his life. I hope he's picked in the test squad as well because I'm pretty sure with this form he'll perform well. He'll perform well even if he goes as a third opener. He doesn't get to play the test matches, but it's vital that he is part of the squad now because I think he has reached that peak stage at 27, 28. Now his graph should just go up.
And not to
So,
forget, towards the end of 2019 and the start of 2020, they were experimenting too much with Rahul, especially with the
Yes.
batting order, and he kept knocking in those runs. So that was that phase
think-
where he really won my heart. I think
yeah,
he was really doing well.
I would go so far as saying at this point there isn't a better batsman in world cricket right now. On form, he's
Yeah.
just untouchable. That guy, and I know he's not played red ball cricket, but that's no fault of his. He's played domestic cricket whenever he's had the opportunity to, and everything else, all problems aside for KL. I am so happy for him because I remember watching the young kid come out, on the Australian tour and scoring a century. So
Yeah.
happy because he
Yeah,
is a joy
and his
to watch.
progression
He's a joy
has
to watch.
and his progression has been a little similar to Virat Kohli as well. Initially Virat Kohli was not the sort of player you would associate with big sixes or something. Obviously,
Yeah.
he would play at a good strike rate, but I think until the 2016 season, even till the 2015 season, he was not known for his sixes. From 2016, I think that was a season where his game picked up. I mean, just in terms of aggressiveness, I think it went another level, and
Yeah.
that is what happened with. That was the same season, in fact, where KL Rahul showed the other side of his batting, which was his hard hitting. So I think, the progression has been similar. I hope, I know he's lost some years. Virat Kohli has had the privilege of having these bad years very, very early on, and that's why he's been able to achieve what he did. Obviously, he deserves all of it. Obviously, Rahul has not been that lucky, but he still has a lot of time to create a very significant impact on Indian cricket.
Carrying on with that, beyond KL Rahul, of course, there's Mahendra Agarwal. I think they've got the best opening partnership in the
Absolutely.
tournament,
Oh,
without doubt.
my word.
I know a lot of people go for Bairstow and Warner, but I think they've outperformed Bairstow and Warner without doubt. And
Yeah,
in general, in
definitely.
terms of the fluency of cricket that they're playing, I don't think Warner is fluent right now still.
Yeah,
In spite of his
truly.
knocks,
Yep.
in spite of the scores he's got, I think Bairstow again, it's a flip of a coin. It could be his day, otherwise he could get a beautiful in swinger and he just get castled there.
Yep.
So Kings 11, I would put them in the third quadrant still. I think they can generally, get to the top four, but they need to get a hand of it. One team that has really impressed me is Kolkata. And I know you talk about power centers. I know you talk about, Andre Russell and Sunil Narayan and everything else. I feel in Sunil Narayan, just going after grapes in a field, in a winery where there are no grapes, in that sense. Because
Yeah,
I think they're trying to look for things which used to exist, but they're not there. He is a hand-eye coordination player. There is no foot movement there.
yeah.
What, as we saw with Virender Sehwag, as we've seen with every hand-eye coordination player, when your
Their time
reflexes
comes. Yeah,
go,
yeah.
it goes. Okay, and the curve is from 2011 World Cup to 2012 was like this for Virender Sehwag.
Truly.
It may not have been this for Sunil Narayan, but it's been a steady decline. It's been a decline. We saw this last year, saw this the year before when he was slightly more effective.
Yeah,
I remember he was very effective from say around 2013 to 2016, 2017. Very effective. But in the last 2, 3 seasons, we've seen his performances decline, and you can map a trend there. So that is one weakness that is there. And I feel, they'd be better served to have gotten someone like Tom Banton or something to open the innings.
have to. Yeah,
Because have to get a proper batsman to open the innings. It's one would rather take a punt on Banton than on Sunil Narayan. And I know Sunil Narayan gives you that extra bowling option. But if you see how much KKR have used them, they almost never bowl him out. And if it's a matter of 2 overs or 3 overs, I generally think you should look at getting it out from somewhere else. So that's one thing. But otherwise, I'm so happy for Shivam Mavi
and Nagarkoti.
and
Yeah,
Nagarkoti.
fabulous. Absolutely
So
so
happy for
Yeah,
them. And Shubman Gill is again he's my favorite batsman amongst the
yeah.
young
This
crop
is the first time Nagarkoti and Mavi bowled since
together
since the final.
under 19 World Cup,
Fine.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah, and that was like 2 years back, right?
yeah, man. I mean,
2018 February, 2018 January, February. If I'm
yeah.
not
Even
wrong.
Shubman Gill, obviously, he
Usually,
was the star of the
yeah,
show that time.
Shubman Gill, Prithvi Shaw, they're all people from that.
That's the best under 19 team I've ever heard of.
Yeah, I think if at least 5 regulars don't come out of the team, I'd be really disappointed.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, truly.
At least 5. Yeah. So all
And
in all,
I think one last thing I would say about Kolkata is I think they can compromise with Owen Morgan as well. I think they still can maybe. I think that could be a little bit of a gamble, but I think Tom Banton has to come in. You have to find a way to bring in Tom Banton because this Sunil Narayan gamble. I think it'll be
it's
one or
not
two more
working.
games. It's not working, and it won't work unless it's a Sharjah where. I think even if it's a Sharjah, I think he's not able to he's lost that swiftness with his bat swing. So whenever they're bowling shot, you can almost see he's very slow on to just complete that bat swing. It's a very sad thing to see for an international cricketer who's opening. So, but yeah, I think that's really coming to an end. That chapter is coming to an end. We can notice that. Maybe if Dinesh Karthik has to end it right now, if with any sense, but I think he might as well go for another couple of games is what I'm thinking. But it has to end. Yeah.
It has to, and I think that experiment. I think they need to. They're throwing good money after bad now. I feel.
Yeah. In fact,
In
true.
this case, they are doing that. I think they should be wise enough to
Hmm.
forgo his overs, or if he is that vital to a bowling attack, just change your batting lineup.
Yeah.
Don't open with him. Get him in as a pinch hitter. Get him in at number 8, number 9, just to swing his bat.
Yeah,
Swing his
there are
bat
some.
straight.
There's Rahul Tripathi. No,
Rahul Tripathi, yes,
yeah, he
Rahul
can come
Tripathi
in.
is a
Yeah,
proven player, and then he can definitely come in. He can do a job. If nothing else, you promote yourself. I think Dinesh Karthik needs balls.
Yeah,
Not
obviously.
low, yeah, literal balls, but like he needs
Yeah,
time in the middle, right? I think that
truly.
he's been struggling as well. So yeah, so that's about it, I guess. Anurag, we've covered all the 8 teams. I'll
Yeah.
just go through the roster once again from our expert Anurag here. For him, MI and DC are the top two, as they are the top two right now. He's plays Kings 11, a rather controversial entry in the second quadrant as one of the third and fourth teams.
And
Fourth team
Sunrisers.
being SRH, of course.
Yeah,
Cannot go against his home team. The fifth and sixth teams that he's talked about are KKR and
Rajasthan
he's talked
Royals.
about RR. Again, these are two teams, which have shown potential, which especially in their bowling attack have shown the capability of being able to even bowl out opposition in these 20 overs.
By the way,
So
the third quadrant, we are mentioning them as dark horses, so
yes,
they very well can spring in a surprise and come in. But
yeah,
as of now, we don't think so. Yeah,
yeah, and then the fourth quadrant, he also runs have been gone to RCB, who could have expected to be there, and an extremely surprising entry in CSK. But
yeah,
it was sort of passing of the torch. It's a passage of time, and we
absolutely.
could we could. I think all of us would be lying if we said none of us saw this coming on their
Yeah,
end. So once again, thank you so much, Anurag. I hope you guys enjoyed this quarterly review. I hope you like this slight change up in format. We were trying to think, what could we do, which is not what everyone does for the IPL, and we thought,
Hmm.
to break it down into 4 quadrants, it'll give us a nice even flow of how things go, and let's see, 2 weeks down the line, Anurag, let's see how many of our predictions hold true, and how many bloopers is there. We could laugh at ourselves, maybe get a couple of guests to laugh at us. So
yeah,
I think that should be a fun thing. So
yeah.
once again, thank you so much for joining me and everyone else. Thank you so much, guys, for watching the video. Please do share, subscribe the video, and please do subscribe to the channel. Share it with your friends, family, everyone. We need your love. We need your support. Thank you so much for watching the Sports Join. And Shagar signing off. See you soon.